Welcome to Scorn. Let's talk about the calendar feature on the main website. You'll notice here that I'm logged into the home page, and I've got a number of buttons right across the top here, and one of them's for the calendar feature. We're going to be implementing the calendar feature to make sure that we're able to coordinate our rating as well as we can. A couple of features that we're going to ask you to use to do that are setting up your characters and attaching them to your Guild Launch account, which we've gone into elsewhere. We also want you to be able to come to this calendar and let us know, when will I be available? Not only that, which raids do I want to sign up for? Do I know there's going to be a fortress raid on a certain day, or will we be hitting a particular instance? People will be putting up those raids on the calendar. So you can see here I'm on the September calendar, and I can see a number of things, including it pulls our birthdays off of our user profiles, so you can see that some birthdays are coming up. But as well, events might show up, like a raid or something like that. How you're going to help with this is with these tools on the left. You'll notice the availability section and the depth section. For guild availability, what I'm going to see is that there's a chart here, and you'll notice it's in the red right now. Under 20% of us are available on any given day of the week, and that's because no one's using the tool. We've only got one or two people who have been kind of poking at it and seeing how it works. But what you're going to want to do is go to this Your Availability section and check off the days that you're going to be available and generally how often. So maybe I'm never gaming on Sunday, or maybe I'm always available Saturday, Sunday, and Friday, and it's really these other days of the week that maybe I can only show up once a month or so. But it starts to give us a concept, it starts to give us an idea of who's going to be available different days of the week in general. Once I've set those radio buttons on each row the way I want, I'm just going to click Submit, and it's going to add that information to the overall data pool so that I know what's going on if maybe I'm checking it out for what night I want to schedule something. The second tool on the left here is the depth versus the availability. And the depth is really set up more based on a calendar type of a model. So you can see here that I've currently got 3 mains available on certain days of the month, and only 2 and only 1, and days obviously that no responses have been made. What's nice about this tool though is, on top of being able to click on a specific day for instance and see who's available, I've got a cleric, I've got ranged DPS, I've got a tank available, and so forth. On top of being able to see that, I can also go back to the tool that's called Your Depth on the left and actually communicate when I'm available. So I've already done that for my ranged DPS. Maybe I'm going to just determine when my tank's going to be available this month. And so I take a look at the calendar here and I realize, these days I'm going to be available, but I am going to be out of town maybe on a specific weekend. So I'm going to mark myself unavailable for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then available again the other days. So now I'm communicating to the Legion, well, when will I be able to go on some of these raids and so forth, so that we don't have to keep asking, hey, what about Tuesday night? Hey, what about Thursday night? So I've got that information recorded. I just hit the Submit button down here in the lower left, and it starts to build that out and add everyone onto that list. It gives me a nice pictorial view of, here are the days I'm available with check marks, here are the days I'm not with big red X's. If I go back to the main calendar, this is where I'm going to be able to see raids, see details on them, what time are they, and so forth. Let me click back to August because we've got a test raid here. And what you'll notice too is the test raid's scheduled for 6 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time -7, which is really West Coast US time right now. But if I hover my mouse cursor over it, you'll notice that my account is set up for East Coast time, and it's telling me, oh, on your clock, that's going to be 9 p.m., 2100 hours. So you've got a very quick, easy way to find out when is that raid really happening. You do need to go into your user profile and make sure that your own time zone is set properly, or this obviously isn't going to work for you. Now I'm going to go into the testing raid. When I take a look at the testing raid, what I'm going to see is that there's a sign up link here that I can click on. So I'll click on signups. And I'm going to see who's signed up for that raid. Oh, I've got a cleric and a Templar. What I'm going to do is say, yes, I'm available for that raid. I'd like to sign up for it. I already know that I've got a cleric and a Templar. I'm going to bring in my ranged DPS and hit submit. And that's all it takes. And now I've got a group available here. I've got 3 people. And as people sign up, then we'll know what's available, who's going to be there, and so forth. Here's my group detail. And I can go back to the calendar and see what's going on now with that event. So hopefully this is going to help you out with how to use the calendar and how to set up your depth and availability. And we'll look forward to using these tools in the future.